Drop the beat. Teen Speak.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Teen Speak. My name is Dawson Bailey, and this is my buddy Coach.
Dawson, can I tell you, every time you do your hello like that, it honestly makes me think that you're an auctioneer. Like the person that does the auctioning. And we got it going once, going twice, and it's
sold to the yellow shirt with black. Yeah, literally. Yeah, pretty much. So
that's you. So
that is me. I haven't drank my coffee yet.
Really?
No.
Dude, oh my goodness. I am on a caffeine deprivation. So yesterday, I had no caffeine yesterday. Man.
Hey, congrats.
So
all of y'all applause to him.
Listen, I'm sitting there and I'm drinking. I have a headache because for those of you that don't know, I drink about 400 milligrams of caffeine a day, probably more, truthfully. But to put that into perspective, the average cup of coffee has about 60 milligrams, 50 to 60 milligrams. So essentially between my energy drinks and my Cokes and my coffees, I usually drink like the equivalent of about 8 or 9 coffees. So I drink a lot of caffeine, and yesterday I had such a bad headache just because of lack of caffeine.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
I'm sitting there, and Miss Jackie for her birthday was able to get a caramel macchiato, but she doesn't drink caffeinated drinks, so she got a decaf. And I'm sitting there drinking it, and like my mind is like, the taste of coffee, caffeine. And then like by the time it like hits my stomach and digest, my mind's like, wait a second, this has no caffeine in it. And the headache it was like a temporary like good feeling, and then the headache came right back. It was miserable.
No.
So I haven't started like twitching or anything yet, but yeah.
Not yet. He's doing good, guys.
It's going all right, yeah. They say that once you have caffeine after you get off like a caffeine withdrawal, they say that like you're going through the roof. So I'm excited to see what happens. I'm going to get like a 300 milligram can of caffeine.
Oh, mercy.
In rain, and I'm just going to go ballistic. So it's fine. Well,
oh my goodness.
I digress. Let's
Yes.
get back into Hebrews.
Let's
Dawson,
get back.
I think we left off at verse 21 if you want to go ahead and read that.
Yes, I shall. Hebrews 11, verse 21, ladies and gents. It says, by faith, Jacob, when he was a-dying, did I read that right? When he was a-dying, I had to make sure, sorry, blessed both the sons of Joseph and worshipped, leaning upon the top of his staff.
Now, this is an interesting reading as well, because if you hear here, it says that or if you read here, or hear if you listen to us,
Yeah.
but it says that he blessed both the sons of Joseph. So, which I do find interesting because Joseph, as you know, Joseph was a son of Jacob, and he was a son of Jacob, and he actually doesn't have a tribe. I don't believe there's not a tribe of Joseph.
I don't
right?
think so, no.
So I believe, if I remember correctly, he had 10 sons plus Joseph. And so he had 10 sons plus Joseph. Then Joseph was sold into slavery, went to Egypt.
Right.
So 11 sons total. But then when they found out that Joseph was actually alive, his father blessed his 2 sons. And I believe, I want to say, I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head, but I believe Ephraim and Manasseh are the sons of Joseph, correct?
I think so.
I believe so.
I don't remember.
I'm going to look it up right now real quick. But I believe it's Ephraim and Manasseh, but it's pretty interesting because all of the sons, if it was based off the sons of off the sons of Jacob, then there actually would have only been 11 tribes. But because I believe because of Joseph's 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, I believe are the 2. Once again, I believe that's how they get to the number 12. But let me look it up real quick.
We'll be right back after the short break. We're improvising right now. It's all right. We'll cut this out. We'll make this good.
No, it's okay. We got it.
All right.
Jeremy likes to leave these in because he finds them funny, so I'm not even going to
Yes.
say we're going to cut it out. Yes, it was Ephraim and Manasseh. I was correct.
Yes.
See, I have to look it up because it'll actually bother me. But it is very interesting. It says here, by faith he blessed them and made them a part of the tribe of Israel, and it says that he was leaning upon the top of his staff, and I find it such a wonderful picture, and when it mentions Joseph, Joseph was thought to be dead, but then when he was found out to be alive, it gave Jacob the energy and the ability really to move one last time. I mean, he was so old and up in age, and the Bible clearly says he was leaning upon the top of his staff, so he was very aged. And he blessed the sons of Joseph and ultimately made what was the 12 tribes of Israel. So
right, yeah. Very important.
I mean, in this one is a very big part. They may not have a promise necessarily that we can cling to or that we can see much, but really this one has a lot to do with Jewish history. It's very important because it is ultimately the 12 tribes of Israel. But once again, it took just as much faith for Jacob to do this as any other person who was mentioned previously about having faith. So at the end of the day, this whole chapter is just about this person had faith. This is how this person showed faith. This is how this person showed faith. And every time I read these, it really makes me ask the question, and this can be our challenge for today. But I ask myself the question, how, if God was to use me as an example in this chapter, how would he use my life as an example of this is how Zach showed faith? Think about that. And think about even in your life. How would God look at you and say, this is how so-and-so, this is how Dawson, this is how Zach, this is how whomever, this is how they showed faith in their life? Because, like I've said before, we have a problem with looking at the Bible and finding these people as so much larger than life, but really these were just normal people like you and I who showed extraordinary faith. And I believe that we can see examples throughout history, Christian history, of men of God who showed faith and had great faith, even though they're not mentioned in Hebrews 11. And if God was to mention them, he has examples of faith that they showed. But then it really does, like I said, it really makes me stop and think, if God was to look at my life and was to use me as an example, would he have anything to say this is how Zach showed great faith?
Wow. That's powerful.
Because if you believe that your faith is true, then you believe that your faith is worthy to be tested. Mm-hmm. So how strong is your faith? How much faith have you placed in God? Are you placing enough where one day he'll be able to look back and maybe it's not going to be found in the book of Hebrews. The book's not going to be rewritten. It's been that way for a while, but maybe we could be like some of these men. Pastor Bailey always talks about Harold Seidler, or you can talk about so many names are coming to mind. Mm-hmm. I think about the people. It still amazes me when I hear the story about the Hortons who started Pensacola Christian, and they just started with a group of teachers and really had nothing, and they've grown into this huge college. I think about the man, his name's escaping me right now, but had the orphanage, and they lived meal by meal because he would just pray and ask God to provide for him. I think of all these great men of God who showed examples of faith, and it ultimately paid off for him. So how are we going to show our faith in the end?
That's a good question.
So that's a good passage there, and I hope you guys will start thinking about that and really start exercising your faith, allowing God to test your faith, to try your faith, and to make it something that's worthy to be counted on.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Dawson, you got a question for him today?
I do. Ladies and gents, drum roll, please. Okay. So the way I look at it, there's a huge competition between Disney and Warner Bros.
Okay.
And it's because they have two almost kind of the same characters, but they're also at the same time very different. And people ask me all the time, which one do you like better? All right, so I'm going to ask y'all, who do you think is the best duck, Donald or Daffy?
I know Jeremy's a huge Disney guy, so he's going to say Donald, right?
Yeah, he's probably going to say Donald.
I'm not going to lie, man. Bugs Bunny and Daffy is just hilarious.
That's my childhood. My childhood was watching Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck.
I don't know. I think 90% of all Disney characters I choose, but I love Daffy Duck.
Daffy
I'm
Duck's
not gonna
really
lie
cool.
to you,
I love
So-
Daffy Duck.
but it's good. And then again, I mean, isn't it Donald Duck who's in Space Jam? So, isn't he in?
Daffy's
no.
in Space Jam.
Is it Daffy? Yeah,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to pick Daffy. Sorry, Jeremy. I was trying to
That's
give
2
Donald
against
a
1,
chance.
Jeremy.
So
Half the time you can't understand what Donald.
I'm talking about the classic Space Jam, not the new one. I haven't seen it yet.
I
by
haven't
the way.
seen it yet either.
So, but yeah, Daffy all the way. So.
Daffy's cool.
Anyway, that was a great episode there, Dawson. Remember, guys, comment down below who's your favorite duck, Daffy or Donald. And remember, there's no wrong answers, but if you pick Donald, you are wrong.
Yeah,
So,
pretty much.
If you like the episode, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Share us on any social media page that you may have. Remember, in the next couple weeks, I'm going to be mentioning a drawing that we're going to be giving away of Dawson.
He mentioned about this last episode.
What we'll do is I will decide a drawing, and then I'll have Dawson draw it, and we'll see where we go from there.
We did not
He
talk
is
about
very,
this.
very talented, guys.
He just
So
brought this up during
he's
the
going to
episode.
use his talent for the Lord, whether he wants to or not. So
He had to say that. He gets me every time.
you
when he
have
says
to.
something.
Now you have to do it. So I've twisted your arm. But anyway, thank you guys for listening, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.